Hi. So I'm on my way to the store. We're going to buy some groceries today because we're going to make a lasagna. So this is episode. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what I'm calling it either. Let's just call it Danny Technicolor. Whatever. Um, we make things and we judge people. Whatever. Uh, so this episode is for people who have never made a lasagna before, or are technically challenged with making lasagna because they spend all their time correcting people's grammar on Facebook and they can't keep them in. Stephen, Nicholas, whatever. I digress. I mean, I'm saying this is a cooking show. This isn't the Petty LaBelle show. Hi. So we are back from our little shopping excursion at the Walmarts, and I just wanted to show you what we got, what we're going to be using today. So we have lean ground beef, Newman's Own spaghetti sauce, which is amazing, and they donate all their profits to charity. We have oven-ready noodles, ricotta cheese, parsley. Always go with fresh ingredients if you can, because it does make a difference. Dried stuff it tastes dry like leaves. Caesar salad, olives, noodles, cheese, lime, because I'm a wino. So the difference in the products, I see that you probably noticed that some of the products are like name brand and some of them are not. I mean, it's cheaper, really. But the reason that I went with this brand versus, say, something like Barilla, which is only like 50 cents more, is because the CEO, I believe, of Barilla decided to make a little statement a couple years ago where he was asked or commented on a commercial where someone wanted to know if like a gay family would ever be in their commercial. And he said, absolutely not. We are a family owned, blah, blah, blah. It just struck me the wrong way. Like if you're a CEO and you represent a company and you're like homophobic or whatever, maybe you should just keep your mouth shut. Food for thought? I don't know. The other reason that I went with this cheese is because, like I could have gone with a great value brand cheese or whatever. However, cheese is different. The noodles are noodles. Like basically the same thing. It's just durum wheat. But cheese, actually, not all cheese is cheese. If you look at the back of it, the ingredients list, it says cellulose. Do you know what cellulose is? Wood pulp, basically. So it's an anti-caking agent made from trees that the FDA allows companies to put in their cheese. So you're paying for wood pulp, basically, like tulip poplar or whatever. I don't like that. So just go with anything that does not have cellulose in it. So right now we are just browning the beef. I just put it in a pan. I added a little water to it. What the water does is two things. One, it helps brown the beef and helps it cook evenly and stops it from burning. And two, it helps separate the fat that's actually in the beef. Although it's lean, it still has a lot of fat in it. So it rises to the top, and then when you drain it, it just makes it easier. So now you know something. Look at all that grease. So now that it's cooked, we're gonna drain it. Colander over a bowl. So, although, you know, I try not to put anything down the sink, sometimes this does go straight into the sink. But this time, I'm going to save this lovely broth and I'm going to mix it in my dog's food. That'll be a nice little treat. So now that we have the beef browned and resting, what we're going to do now is go back to the pan, unwashed. We're going to use what little grease is remaining in it to actually cook some onion. Prefer red onion. So now that our onions are opaque, we are going to add the beef back to the skillet and also a tablespoon of garlic. I'm just going to stir that up and just let it cook for a few more minutes before we add our spaghetti sauce. The additional spaghetti sauce. So now that we've mixed in the spaghetti sauce, we're also going to add a can of diced tomatoes and some sliced olives. So a million years ago, I used to work at Olive Garden, and when they made their lasagna, they would make it the night before. So it would set, basically, and that's why it stayed on the plate. If you got one that fell apart, that means it was made that day. Ain't nobody got time for that. So today we are going to mix ours with a little bit of egg so that it stands when it cooks. And to do that, we're going to take ricotta cheese, like so, and a little bit of the cellulose-free Parmesan, and a few eggs. Actually, I'm going to be using the farm fresh eggs, which were given to me courtesy of my work friend, Mary Victoria Demarest. Okay, so we have our ricotta and Parmesan cheese, some parsley, fresh ground pepper, and we're just gonna mix that together. Now that we've got the ricotta egg cheese mixture done, as well as the tomato meat sauce mixture, it's time to build the lasagna. So Martha Stewart and the Barefoot Contessa's recipe would tell you to put the noodles first on a greased pan and then start layering. That makes no sense because they're just gonna burn. So start with the tomato sauce mixture first, layer it, and then put the noodles over it, and then the ricotta mixture, a little bit of mozzarella cheese, more noodles, and then continue to build. We'll see how it goes. So right now we're just slathering on the ricotta, egg, cheese, parsley mixture. This is more, I would call it more like an American lasagna, I guess, like an American Italian lasagna, like New York or Chicago style. If you go elsewhere, like outside of the United States, and you get a lasagna, you're gonna get one with something called bechamel instead of ricotta cheese. So bechamel is it's a dairy product. Basically, it's milk, cream, butter, and flour. It's kind of like a roux, like the thing that you start out with if you're trying to make gumbo. As weird as that sounds. There's a thing, you know. All right, so now that we have our lasagna layered, what we're gonna do is pop it into the preheated oven at 425 for about 40 minutes, just to give it time to jive in there. And then it'll be more ready than, you know, like the Stouffer's lasagna that you put on paper plates to post on Instagram. Patty LaBelle. Okay, So now that we have our lasagna layered, what we're gonna do is pop it into the oven at 425 for about 35, 40 minutes, let it jive in there and get to know each other. And then it will be more ready than the Easy Mac that you're serving on paper plates to all of your friends on Instagram. I said it was gonna be petty, so hard. So the lasagna is out of the oven and God, this light is just fucking terrible. So the lasagna is out of the oven and it looks fantastic. It is just a little brown because I was talking on the phone and I forgot about it. So, but still, it's good. But it is basically the equivalent of lava at the moment. So we're gonna let it rest, let it cool down, and it should harden up. And when Ray gets home in about 20 minutes or so, it'll be delicious. So thank you all for watching today. If you enjoyed this, if you didn't, well then you shouldn't have watched it. I hope to make more movies in the future. Thinking about opening a YouTube channel. I'm not really sure if I have that much time to devote to it or not, so we'll see. If you have any questions about what we cooked today or any suggestions, or even if you have a suggestion on something I could cook, I would love to hear it. You can either, if you know me, send me a text, or Facebook message is always appropriate, or you can send me an email. My email address is greendevilfish@gmail.com. Don't judge me, like I just needed something different that I could remember, and it's worked for like 5 years, so whatever. Yeah, if you choose to also make this dish and you can do it better than me, which I doubt, let's see it. Okay, bye. Love you.